Dulce, New Mexico, a town of less than 3,000 people where urban legends arises, and is one of New Mexico's strangest places. According to one urban legend, as many as 60 troops and civilians were killed in 1979 when grey aliens clashed with US military forces in the so-called Dulce Wars. Philip Schneider was born on April 23, 1947. Attended an engineering school before becoming a geological engineer. It is renowned as a guy who worked for many years in partnership with US Special Service and had access to material classified at the third level of secret. So, what are the three levels of secrecy? The classification system in the United States is divided into three levels: confidential, secret, and top secret. Each level of categorization represents an increase in sensitivity. Thus, if you have a top secret security clearance, you may handle material up to that level, including secret and confidential information. With that kind of knowledge, many people assume that was what caused his death in 1996. In the world of alien conspiracies, Philip Schneider stands out as he began giving public talks in 1995 about the history of human-alien interaction on Earth. In those talks, Philip claims to be an ex-government structural engineer in charge of creating deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, around the United States. He claimed that the US have known about alien life on Earth since the early 20th century, but has kept the evidence hidden. In the United States, around 130 DUMBs have been developed, some of which are up to 2 kilometers deep and a size as big as a city. The purpose is believed that in the event of war, all these bases will be activated. All these bases are interconnected just like the cities above ground, which are linked by high-speed monorails on which trains travel at 2 Mach, or roughly 2,380 km per hour, on a magnetic cushion that hovered 3/4 of an inch above the track. Philip was involved in the building of DUMBs in 1979, and he was the project's principal engineer in Dulce. The employees got puzzled after their drill bit was destroyed after they dug 4 shafts during the drilling process. Philip Schneider was sent to descend below in a motorized basket to investigate the strange phenomenon and to solve the problem, accompanied by around 60 military personnel and scientists. When he arrived, he discovered a very old tunnel system that has been dug, and he was confronted by the few 7-foot-tall grey aliens. Out of fear, Philip drew out his rifle and fired at the alien, killing it. In response, one of the aliens stroked his tummy and produced a little beam that severed 3 of Philip's fingers and blew off his toenails. After the exchange of gunpowder and plasma beams, Philip's life was saved by a military comrade who leaped in front of him, shooting him and pushing him to the power basket and repelling it back to Earth's surface. After the devastating incident, Philip Schneider alleged that 60 soldiers were killed in the underground combat with the aliens. Besides the Dulce Wars, Philip Schneider also talked about the alien agenda, which is arguably his most well-known conspiracy theory. Philip stated that the US administration is aware of the alien agenda since 1933, and aliens are meant to take over the globe in 2029. According to Philip Schneider, 16 UFO accidents occurred between 1947 and 1952. The US authorities collected 117 extraterrestrial bodies from the accidents, 4 of which were alive. A special military team oversaw the extraterrestrials' security, and they are known as Blue Berets, and it was part of Project Pulse. There are now 7 good alien races and 4 wicked alien species on Earth. According to the idea, the US government signed 4 treaties with the 3 friendly extraterrestrial races in 1944, 1954, 1962, and 1979. The treaties have 5 conditions. First, aliens are concerned about humanity, and the US government respects the secret of their existence. 2. Everything will be denied. 3. Alien aid in technical advancement and only the United States will be benefited from it. 4. They have the authority to seize people and animals for their own purpose and then return them. 5th, getting rid of the memory of those people. Philip felt that the purpose of secret military bodies was to safeguard the Earth from an impending extraterrestrial invasion. He claimed the US government possessed mountains of damaged UFOs and locates the home of extraterrestrial remains in Nebraska. What inspired Philip Schneider to stand out in public and share his experience? He determined that people should be aware that they are being kept in the dark or are being horribly misled about anything related to UFO and aliens. In 1994, Philip severed ties with the American intelligence agencies and returned all his awards. Over the next 2 years, he made several public statements regarding the subterranean bases, top secret alien technologies, and the threat to mankind. Schneider has also mentioned that 11 of his best friends had died in the previous 22 years, and that they all knew something about the so-called government conspiracy theory. At the same time, 8 of the 11 occurrences were officially classified as suicides. Because he knew his days are few, he stated that he will not try suicide, and if it occurs, it will not be him. Not long after, on January 17, 1996, Philip Schneider was discovered dead in his residence. He appeared to have been dead for several days. His body was discovered in what looks to be a strange position, with no wounds on his body to account for the blood. There was also no suicide note discovered. According to the autopsy report, a rubber hose was wrapped 3 times around Philip's neck and then tied in a knot, which prevented blood flow to his brain, causing him to go unconscious and ultimately die. Committing suicide with just 7 fingers may appear to be an almost impossible feat, but the official cause of death, however, is suicide. Cynthia, his surviving wife, has said that US intelligence personnel searched their home immediately after his death and stole at least a third of the family pictures. Cynthia also noticed that Philip's lecture notes and lecture material for his unpublished book on UFOs went stolen from his flat, but his money and belongings remained untouched. It wasn't until Philip Schneider died that people began to take his public speeches more seriously. People from Dulce are also starting to come out and speak about their encounter with aliens and UFO. Do you believe in the existence of aliens? Will they take over our Earth in 2029? Or is it all just a fairy tale that people made up? Only time will tell.